Hello friends, welcome back to my kitchen. I'm Kaylee if you haven't been here before, and this is From Seed to Plate. We are going to be making some stuffed pepper soup with some ground beef. All that goes into this is some broth, some diced tomatoes, onions, peppers, and some seasoning. It's a super simple recipe. Oh, rice also. Let's go ahead and get that out. Actually, my rice maker takes about 30 minutes to cook rice, and I don't think that's even gonna take that long to cook the rest. We can just let it simmer while we wait for the rice to get done. So, this recipe calls for 2 cups of rice, cooked. And I would like some extra rice for leftovers for later. I think tomorrow I'm gonna make some salmon in the air fryer. I will record that also. That is by far, I think, the best way I have found to cook salmon now. It's delicious, especially from frozen. It sounds weird, but I cook the salmon from frozen and it gets a really, really crispy edge on the outside. It's so good. So I think I'm gonna do, so I have about a cup left. So that's about 1.5 cups. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and rinse this until the water runs clear. All right, I got that mostly rinsed off, good enough. We hit our little start button and let that go. I love a rice cooker. I wish I would have gotten one years and years and years ago. I think I only got this one like 2 years ago, and it's one of my favorites. Before we get started cooking our soup, I want to make a breakfast sandwich because I'm kind of hungry now, and then I will actually let the soup simmer for a few hours. You don't really have to do that, but I'll probably let it simmer for like an hour and then just let it chill. To make my breakfast sandwich, I'm going to heat up a pan and oil one side of it for the egg. I have bagels that I made previously and froze. I took this straight out of the freezer and put it in the toaster, and it heats up beautifully that way. I have these pre-made chicken maple breakfast patties from Butcher Box. They're so good. I take it straight from the freezer also and heat it up in a warm pan. You can also microwave these, but it's better heated up in the pan. I'm going to use the same pan and crack the egg in it. I like to just scramble it in the pan because I don't want to do more dishes. And then try to shape it kind of into a circle shape as much as possible. And then just season with salt and pepper. I have tried to like use a cookie cutter or something, but even putting oil in it, the egg sticks to it. So it's easier just to try to kind of finagle it into a circle shape. It doesn't need to be perfect for me. But once my bagel is done toasting, I take the egg out and then I put cheese on the sausage patty, cover it with a lid just to help the cheese melt, and then I put it all together and we have a delicious sandwich. Let's get this pot going. I'm gonna kind of, besides the rice, I'm gonna make this a 1-pot meal. I'm gonna go ahead and cook the meat in here, and then we'll add our other ingredients to it, and it just simmers together from there. The onions and peppers are actually frozen, so those are ready to go. So I really don't have any prep to do for this recipe, which is lovely. If you didn't have pre-chopped onions and peppers, you just need to get some fresh and chop those up, or you could get some frozen from the grocery store and throw them in there. I'm just gonna salt my meat and then put some pepper and garlic powder in here. While our burger's cooking, we are gonna mix up the dog treats because these just need to go in the oven. I've already preheated it, or it's preheating currently to 325. This is only 4 ingredients. We're gonna do Apple Cinnamon Oat Bites. Oh, I need to get the cinnamon out. I already got out applesauce that I canned a while ago. It's 1 cup of rolled oats, half a teaspoon of cinnamon, and a tablespoon of honey. So we're gonna do a cup of rolled oats. don't think this has to be exact ratios either, but I've only made them one other time, so I just want to make sure they're good for him. 1 cup of applesauce. Our oven just beeped, so it's preheated, so we're good to go with that. And I'll just eat the rest of this applesauce for a snack or put it on in something. All right, cup of applesauce. I am probably going to freeze these. The last time I made them, I made this and a couple others, and I just kept them out like in a treat container that I have up on the shelf, and they ended up molding. I didn't even think about it because every other dog treat usually doesn't need to be refrigerated or frozen, but I didn't even think about that. It's homemade. It's not, you're not leaving it in the oven long enough to take all the moisture out. So it makes sense, but I just didn't think about it. So I'm probably gonna keep some in the fridge and put some in the freezer, because he might like them frozen too. It's really hot outside right now. It was actually 85 degrees earlier when I went for my walk, but our humidity right now is crazy. I think I walked maybe 4 blocks and was already sweating pretty bad. And a tablespoon of honey. We're just gonna guesstimate on that. I might have put too much cinnamon in there, but it'll be all right. So it says just to drop spoonfuls on a baking sheet. This is pretty runny, but we'll see how it turns out. Let's deal with the meat before we move on with that, because it's looking almost done. There's a couple slightly pink pieces in there, but this is gonna simmer with the sauce or the rest of the soup, so it'll cook, it'll be fine. So what I do to get extra grease out of my meat is I grab a paper towel, get the grease to the edge and soak it up with the paper towel and just throw it in the trash. You can do this with tongs if you're afraid of burning yourself too, which I probably should do, but I'm not. I don't want the extra dish to wash. All right, we're gonna get our onions and peppers in there because we wanna cook those a little bit. I actually do have fresh onion I could cut up, but I have the frozen ones too, so I'm gonna use that today. I actually might add a little bit of my jalapeno in there. So the ratios are just 1 large bell pepper and 1 onion. We're gonna do that. And then maybe it'll have a little kick if I put some jalapeno in there. Hopefully not too much, because some of these jalapenos were spicy. After this pepper and onion cook down just a little bit, I'm gonna also put a garlic puck in here. All right, while that's cooking down, let's go ahead and get this mixture on our pan. I'm just gonna, I think I wanna do little ones. You know what, I'm gonna use my little cookie scoop for this. So that they're kind of relatively the same size, close to it anyway. These are gonna go in the oven for 10 to 15 minutes. All right, we got all our dishes in the dishwasher, so we already have the kitchen mostly cleaned up besides our rice maker and our 1 pot that we're using for our soup. I'm gonna go ahead and get a puck of garlic in there because our onions and peppers are cooked enough. So that can just melt over time, so we don't really have to worry about cooking that before we put other stuff in, since we're gonna let it simmer. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get our other ingredients in here. Get our diced tomatoes. We're gonna do, it says 14 ounces of broth, which one of these is about 14 ounces, but I only have tomato paste. I do not have tomato soup or sauce. So I have tomato paste, and I'm actually just gonna add some extra broth to make up for it. And probably do, I don't know, about another cup of broth. And we'll just put that in the fridge and either use it later or drink it. Now all we need to do is season this with just some salt, pepper, garlic powder, and a little bit of sugar to cut the acidity from the tomatoes. We're gonna put about a tablespoon of sugar in. I just pulled these out of the oven. They're still a little bit soft. I think they'll firm up once they cool off, but once they're cool, we'll get Ty to try them and see if he thinks they're tasty. All right, these treats have cooled down enough. I'm gonna have Tyson do a little taste test. I have to say, I don't love the texture of these. It's kind of like gooey on the bottom. Hopefully that'll go away once they cool off more. They're still like semi-warm, but they're not hot anymore. Ty, you want a treat? You want to try it? Oh, I think we got a winner. Give me a pass. Good boy. Cool. Was that good? Did you like that? All right, well, he doesn't mind the texture, so. Awesome. We got new treats for the Tyson. Oh, sweet boy. All right, our stuffed pepper soup has been cooking, I don't know, half hour, 45 minutes. I will say, if you enjoy stuffed peppers, but you don't like the work that comes into the stuffed peppers or as many dishes as it makes, this is a great recipe because it tastes exactly the same, but it only takes 1 or 2 pots and is super quick. So I'm just gonna let this cool off, and I'm gonna put 2 cups of white rice in it that's already cooked, and I'm going to put it in deli containers. But yeah. Tyson loved those. I don't love the texture of them, but I don't have to eat them, so that's fine. As soon as they're totally cooled off, I am gonna stick some in the fridge and the rest in the freezer. All right, guys, we got our brunch made up and eaten. We got our dinner ready, and we're gonna be eating that soon. And I got some treats made for Ty. So if you enjoyed hanging out with me in the kitchen, make sure to like and subscribe. It doesn't cost you anything, and it'll bring you back to me. And I hope you enjoyed your time with me. I will see you on the next one. Have a lovely day. Bye.